So who's next?
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. Why is everyone having such a hard time? He ain't doing shit different.
Before we begin, please be advised, viewer discretion is recommended. The content presented here is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. It features the verbatim courtroom testimony from the federal trial of Sean Diddy Combs, as documented by iMole Press. I was 19 when the studio door clicks shut behind me. A shaken voice hisses in the just-leaked recording as a judge's gavel cracks through the feed. Exhibit 27B burns on screen. Bring me the fresh faces. Puff wants energy. Chaos erupts. Shredded NDAs flood the courthouse steps. Fan spam hashtag mute Diddy, and sponsor scramble. Pause. Ask yourself, how many platinum plaques can excuse an open secret this raw? The stakes? Colossal. Survivors still can't sleep. Labels keep the cash flowing. Kids blast his hits, not knowing the bruises behind the beat. This matters now because the latest court order prize open a vault of dirty favors and midnight wire transfers. Fingerprints smeared across some of rap's holiest names. Stick around. We'll trace the hush money pipeline, spotlight the stars who held the door, and hand the mic to the people Puff thought he erased. Ready? Our first stop. The night Jay-Z's covert alias lit up that guest list, where the illusion finally begins to crack. Before you get entangled in this report, here's just a subtle reminder to please subscribe to support our research project and mission to hit 100K subscribers before the end of June. Thank you. Comment celebrities and people who are monsters like him and have stood with him in this evil. Let's use this opportunity to call them all out.
It's 2020, y'all. And it's different than when it was 2016. You know, the game has been elevated. As we can tell, there's no expense being spared. We had a black billionaire's lunch. You understand?
Right.
And we here together, and we're gonna keep staying together. We getting tighter. You know what I'm saying? And united we stand. And ain't nothing else to us. Black excellence. It's 2020, y'all.
The hallway outside courtroom 4B smelled like stale coffee and panic. Reporters elbowed one another. Red record lights blinking like tiny warning sirens. A clerk burst through the oak doors clutching a thumb drive and a single-page order. Her hand shook. Unsealed, she whispered. That word kicked the hive. 40 phones shot up. One journalist tripped over a cord, muttering, "Mother crud," just loud enough for the mic. Inside, the files glowed on a giant screen. Party invoices, jet logs, raw text threads. Near the top a note shouted in bold, "Fresh talent, keep phones." The room hissed. Someone gagged into a sleeve. The judge called for order, but order had left the building. The projector pumped out warm plastic fumes. Papers rustled like scared birds. A deputy wiped sweat from his neck and sighed. This'll get messy. Dates on those pages matched nights fans cheer online. Grammy after-parties, yacht gigs, pop-up clubs selling $30 drinks. Silence strangled the gallery. Sweat, warm, sour, pooled under collars. It was the smell of a lie turning rotten. Outside, chaos traveled faster than a meme. Times Square screens flashed. Diddy tied to secret Freakoffs. Jay-Z named. Tourists gasped. A kid dropped his pretzel. Taxis honked while drivers glued eyes to dashboard streams. Street vendors hollered, "Hot scandal here!" Like it was 1940 all over again. Twitter turned into a bonfire. Dance challenge accounts flipped to rage. Hashtag mute Diddy hit #1 in 8 minutes. Sponsors texted lawyers. Lawyers pinged crisis teams. Crisis teams
went into the studio to make this album, American Gangster. There was a buzz about you. Jay-Z's back. He's creating music.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to get involved. People that hadn't been with you for a while, like Diddy.
Yeah.
Comes to you and wants to be the executive producer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you look at him and say, "Man, you
can't executive produce an executive producer."
What'd you say to him? What was the
That's what I said. You can't executive producer. But he said, "Man, you're the greatest, all right? But even Michael Jordan had a coach."
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Practically fainted. At the leak's core sat Exhibit 17B, a chat between a fixer called Coach and a number saved as SC. The messages barked, "Need 3, no phones. Puff wants energy. HOV's cool." One name that topped stadium bills, now stuck to the floor like gum on a cheap shoe. The teen blogger in row 2 nailed it. Dang, they're all in on it. The files did more than name names. They mapped flights from Teterboro to islands with no extradition. They listed suites paid in cash by shell firms stacked like nesting dolls. A grenade rolling across marble. Silent glide, then boom. Victim statements, once buried, pushed through the cracks. One read, "He told me glitter hides bruises. I still see the lights when I try to sleep." No glossy PR spin can mop that kind of hurt. For each survivor who spoke, 3 more gripped phones with shaking hands, weighing if today was their turn. Industry insiders scrambled to rewrite history. A radio DJ swore he never spun Diddy by choice. An exec claimed she always felt something off, but was powerless. Sure, powerless, yet pocketful. The hypocrisy reeked like cheap cologne sprayed over yesterday's sweat. Strong for a minute, then plain nasty. Viewers felt the betrayal hard. Parents remembered letting kids dance to Bad Boy for Life. Now they punched air, mad at themselves. College fans dumped shiny suit costumes in the trash. Some felt tricked. Others felt dirty. Fear walked in too. If idols can drop this low, who's safe? Comment threads filled with quiet panic. What if my fave is next? Brands heard it. One shoe company yanked ads within an hour, leaving a blank square on its homepage. Shame turned into lost revenue. On the courthouse steps, the victim's lawyer, voice steady but eyes wet, told cameras, "Today shows truth can outrun money." The crowd clapped, hard, like slamming a coffin lid. Yet the image that stuck wasn't on a page. It was one grainy frame. Diddy slipping into a black SUV, phone at his ear, lips tight. Timestamp. 5 minutes after the leak hit live feeds. Running from a blast of his own making? Viewers can decide. This scandal hits every sense. Rotten secrets you can taste like pennies. Flashing lights that sting the eyes. Chants thumping in your ribs. And in the center, beating like a bad drum, the question. How many careers, how many lives, paid for one man's Friday fun? Remember that SC contact in the chat? Next, we follow that trail through private jets, silent boardrooms, and the night Jay-Z allegedly punched his VIP wristband into a place no fan was ever meant to see.
What's that? That's Mauve King?
Niggas feeling marvelous.
You gotta get the shoes though. Y'all know what it is.
Gold confetti rained down like fool's gold. The night cameras rolled at Club Nebula. Spotlights carved the dark. Bass lines rattled glassware. VIP ropes glowed neon pink. To outsiders it looked like joy on turbo drive. Inside, the air reeked of spiced rum, vape mist, and fresh fear. One girl tugged her silver dress lower, eyes wide. She'd been promised a cameo, maybe a contract. Instead she saw that door, the velvet-covered door victims call the pit. Her pulse drummed louder than the DJ drop. Back on the floor, Diddy flashed a grin bright enough to roast marshmallows. Celebs laughed, bottles popped, hashtag sprouted. A DJ yelled, "Family, we blessed," while a handler erased a trembling intern's video. Mirrors on mirrors reflected money and sparkle so fast your brain skipped like a scratched CD. Dang, that shine is the trick. Look long, you forget to listen. Listen now. Behind the thump, a muffled cry leaked through subwoofers. A photo blogger froze, then waved it off as feedback. People see what pays, hear what sells. That's why Diddy bankrolls fireworks. Chew the candy, ignore the rotten core. Smell told another story. The dance floor oozed gardenia and sandalwood. Near the Dropbox, the scent shifted. Bleach, sweat, stale breath. Like a hospital hallway after visiting hours. Survivors say that smell clings for weeks. A ghost you can't scrub off. Outside, fans leaned on barricades. Phones high, begging for a wave. They smelled hot asphalt and pretzel carts. Not bleach. They heard bass. Not begging. They saw a billionaire king. Not the broken chess pieces under the table. Glamour works like smoke. It stings your eyes, blurs the room, lets the magician palm the card. Remember those glossy magazine spreads? White yachts, tan cheeks, dripping diamonds? Editors called it aspirational. They never showed yacht staff forced to sign hush pages thicker than the dessert menu. Nobody prints the non-disclosure tears. A stylist who once taped diamond cuffs onto Diddy's wrist still flinches at midnight. I kept telling myself, "Shut up, cash your check," she says. But every sparkle felt like barbed wire.
There's now some rumors circulating, and you can shut it down the second I say it, that there was a tie with, Jay-Z had some stuff to do with Diddy, and they're kind of both being, aligned and quiet about it.
They're in a lot of pictures together. So, yeah. The reason why I pivoted, because the gray area thing, I don't play those games at all. So whatever was going on, I just never even engaged, indulged, or anything. Not even looked the other way. Didn't look at all. I just left. So you don't see me in none of the pictures.
Has the Fed at all reached out to you for information or no?
I haven't been around him like that. I'm not around him like that. Just because we black don't mean shit.
No, that's not it. But you guys were partners. Like, that's a part.
Oh, me and Jay?
At one point.
Oh, why would they reach out to me for what?
I don't know if they want to say, hey, is there anything you want to talk to us about, with what happened? They've never reached out to you.
Nah.
They're reaching out to a lot of weird people right now.
Yeah, I'm not weird.
Okay.
Sharp, pretty, painful. The industry plays along. Award shows flash tribute reels. Talk hosts greet him with giggles. They gift wrap horror in silk. It's like spraying citrus spray on a dumpster. Smells sweet for a second, still full of trash. Numbers time. One weekend freak-off can burn through 3 jets, 12 suites, and payroll for 40 contractors. A small town's budget torch-chasing thrills no movie rating could print. Guess who pays? Fans stream the hits. Sponsors chase the clicks. Betrayal bites harder when you helped build the throne. Viewers pumped wallets, dance moves, and nostalgia playlists. Now they see receipts soaked in misery. It stings worse than lemon on a cut. Lights hit just right. Editors crop bruises. Publicists plant puppy rescue stories. After the leak, brands wiped old posts, pretending they never hashtagged backstage. Too late. Screenshots are fossils in amber. Hypocrisy drips thicker than the gold bottles they shake. Remember when he preached love and community? Security hustled a sobbing guest down a service elevator at that exact moment. That's not love. That's a magic trick with a body count. Picture a glittering snow globe. Shake it. Flake swirl, hiding the plastic houses. Diddy's empire is that globe. Sparkle storms cover cracks in the plastic. But the glass just took a hammer hit, and the fake snow is leaking out. Victims step forward now. Voices shaky but steady. They speak of hush payments slid across marble bars, of superstars who saw but shrugged. Their words slice through the music louder than any chart hit. You can almost taste the adrenaline, metallic, like biting your tongue. Fear chills studios tonight. Managers scan contracts, rappers call lawyers, A-listers rehearse lines. I had no idea. Cute. We've heard that tune. Yet hope flickers. Each truth cracked open lets light flood the room. Fans who once cheered are watchdogs now. The champagne wave recedes, exposing footprints nobody wanted found. Here's the twist. The same cameras feeding the myth will record the fallout. Every red carpet could turn pop quiz. When did you learn what really happened? TikTok. Credibility melts like ice under studio lights. Still think the glamour was real? Stand 10 feet from that velvet door and breathe. Tell us what you smell. Because next, we follow the hush money. How cash slews through shell firms and well-dressed middlemen who swear their hands are clean.
Thing on the woo! So you see how we do it here on Saturday. This is what it's about to be.
The studio tower on Broadway looks like heaven in glass. Neon logos glow, perfume fills the lobby, and a free latte bar hums. But ride the private elevator and the smell changes. Cold air, printer ink, clipped roses dying in a vase. Inside the 13th floor conference room, lawyers huddle over hush papers thick as phone books. A paralegal slides envelopes across polished wood. They whisper code words, play, cleanup, event insurance. No one says victim, saying it would stain the carpet. This is the machine that keeps the bad beat pumping. Think of a spiderweb spun with gold thread. Every line looks pretty until you feel it stick to your skin. Diddy stands at the center, but the web only works because each strand holds its own weight. Labels, publicists, crisis firms, silent shareholders, friendly cops, and a few blue-check cheerleaders who trade retweets for VIP passes. Surveillance screens light the walls like a mini sun. One shows backstage corridors, another tracks jet gates, another runs social feeds for keywords. Freakoff, payout, puff. The operator toggles mute whenever screams break through the tape. Her face doesn't move. Laser printers spit NDAs at 40 pages a minute. Staplers crack. A junior attorney counts wire transfer codes out loud. 759-930. Each number seals another mouth. There is no music here, only clicks and paper rips and the low hum of an air unit set to meet locker cold. Survivors describe signing with numb fingers. Pens feel like icicles. The table edge digs their ribs. One woman remembers the suede chair under her legs, soft as a kitten, while her heart hammered like a jackhammer. Fresh laundered cash stinks of ink and bleach. Mix that with stress sweat and lemon disinfectant, and the room tastes metallic, like licking a battery. The stench crawls up your nose and camps there. Outside, fans blast Diddy's chart toppers. The beat is bright. The lyrics preach love. The contrast feels sick. It's like watching fireworks over a crime scene taped off in yellow. You clap until you realize the pop you heard wasn't a firework at all. The web pays well. A senior fixer pockets more in one weekend than a nurse earns in a year. He told a buddy, "Chill, nobody gets hurt." Meanwhile, a therapist in Queens logs another late-night call from a woman who can't walk past club lights without shaking. Hurt. Try wrecked. Let's call out the helpers. Labels. They agree.
So why does it all come to a head now? Why now? Why?
Because he's the acceptable monster at this time, like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch.
So who's next?
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. Why is everyone having such a hard time? He ain't doing different. He lined up D. Haven, stole his life and identity. He lined up Big L, stole his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash, stole his life, identity, and took his love. Lined up R. Kelly. He wants to be the one.
Greenlight tour budgets knowing settlements wait under miscellaneous. They brag about mental health days while shredding complaint emails at 5 p.m. PR firms. They flood blogs with puppy videos whenever rumors spike. They coach apologies that never say sorry. Streaming giants. Numbers climb. Playlists stay. They tweet, "We stand with women" on Monday and push a Freakoff anthem on Tuesday. Blue check influencers. They post glossy backstage selfies, ignoring the sobbing girl off frame. Likes over lives. Each cog claims, "I had no clue." Really? The elevator logs show them riding to floor 13 every award season. They heard the staplers. They smelled the bleach. They just like their share options more than someone else's safety. This silence is a luxury car speeding through red lights. The passengers sip champagne while bodies leap out of the way. As long as the ride is smooth, they crank the volume and call it success. But every engine overheats. Leaked chat threads now spread faster than any radio single. A fixer's phone got cloned. A burned assistant sent screenshots instead of selfies. The web shakes. Sponsors glance at exit doors. Their perfume of choice tonight? Self-preservation. Fear seeps into Zoom calls. What did we sign? How many payouts this quarter? Who still has copies? Voices drop to whispers. HR drafts, value statements. Nobody believes. One exec orders sent diffusers for the lobby. As if lavender oil can mask moral rot. Betrayal slams hardest on the fans who danced, bought teas, named mixtapes after bad boy hits. They feel hoodwinked, like paying for front row seats only to learn the show was a cover for cruelty. Some stream counts plummet. Not enough yet, but the dip spooks accountants. Meanwhile, victims meet in group chats. They trade lawyers, screenshots, courage. A mom in Atlanta tells a newcomer, "You're not crazy. They just gaslit you." Her text bubbles shake. She hits send anyway. That ping travels further than any platinum hook. Truth is the beat they can't mute. The system tries one last trick. Dangle quick money for silence. But hush cash feels lighter now, almost flimsy. Paper can't weigh down rage when it finally catches wind. So where does the web rip first? Follow the money trail through shell companies with cute names like Sunny Day Holdings. It bends toward a private island, a tax haven, and a chart star who swore he never knew. That next bend is exactly where we head. Strap in, because the victims' voices are about to crash the quiet.
And Bad Boy was like one of the first labels really, to have like CEO, young black CEO, and the way he was doing it was so fresh and so new. Excuse me, Puffy being, we got a lot of respect for them. We liking everything they got coming out of it.
So what you saying about people that consider what Puffy's doing as pop music? What you think about that?
Well, pop music is popular music. It's rap. You gotta understand. It's a business now, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to reach a broader audience. So if you got music that appeals to a broader audience, I don't think you should have to apologize for that. So that's how I see it.
I can still smell his cologne in my hair, Mia whispers into a handheld recorder. Her voice wobbles, but the tape rolls. She is in a motel off I-95, curtains shut tight, AC rattling like bad nerves. She pulls a hoodie over fresh bruises. That tiny mic captures every shaky breath. It also captures the moment the soundproof wall around Diddy's empire starts to crack. The first voice always feels alone. Then another rises. And another. Soon the silence breaks like cheap glass on a dance floor. Each story adds weight, pushing the needle from rumor to raw fact. Fans who once screamed at concerts now press headphones close, horrified by what they hear. A reporter's camera zooms on a trembling hand holding Exhibit K, hotel keycards, 5 in a row, labeled Starlet, fresh, VIP 1, VIP 2, cleaner. Each key is a scar. A single tear hits the plastic and streaks salt down the label. On screen, the tear shines brighter than any staged diamond. A court stenographer repeats a question. Did he threaten you with career damage? Click, 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 go her keys. The witness nods, too scared to speak. The judge says, let the record show, and the gallery gasps. The gasp swells, echoing like the opening roar at Madison Square Garden. Only this time nobody's smiling. One survivor, Dante, remembers velvet ropes brushing his wrist the night he was shoved into a side room. They felt soft, he says, but inside my head it was barbed wire. He clenches fists on the stand. Knuckles pale, veins throb. The jury shifts hard in their seats. Jasmine, age 22 when it happened, tells lawyers the hotel suite reeked of pineapple vodka and stale cigar smoke. Every time I smell smoke now, my stomach flips, she says. Across the aisle, a record label exec sprays sweet mist on her wrist, trying to erase the stink crawling up memory's walls. Tweets race across screens. Hashtag believe Mia. Hashtag justice for Dante. Hashtag mute Diddy. The hashtags pulse like heartbeats. Sponsors feel the thump. 2 companies pull ads within an hour. Their press releases drip with sorry not sorry disclaimers. But numbers don't lie. Cash runs scared when truth shows its teeth. Diddy's legal squad rolls out a statement stuffed with shiny words. Integrity, respect, misunderstanding. Social media calls it cotton candy. Fluffy, empty, and gone the second rain hits. A late-night host jokes, he might need a mic that swallows sound, not spits bars. Laughter explodes, then dies quick. The room tastes guilt. Behind the showbiz sneers sits raw betrayal. Fans recall pumping fists to Bad Boy for Life at middle school dances. Now that hook feels rotten, like drinking milk past date. One mother dumps every Diddy CD in a thrift store bin. Her 10-year-old asks why. She says, we don't praise pain. Industry enablers scramble. A big shot producer deletes selfies with a mogul. A pop diva drops a cryptic apology on Instagram. Pastel background, cursive font, 0 names. Commenters rip it apart. Girl, you filmed half your last album in his studio. Likes plummet. The diva turns off comments, but the damage screenshots itself. The most cutting blow comes from within the camp. An ex-security guard releases a diary. The pages smell of cigar ash and cheap cognac. Inside, list after list. Guest rosters, liquor invoices, payouts logged in code, sunset, midnight, laundry. Forensic accountants decode them live on X. Turns out, sunset equals hush cash. Laundry equals legal retainer. Fans see the ledger and feel their stomachs flip, like riding a roller coaster that never passes safety checks. Picture a luxury cruise ship gliding smooth at dusk. Under the ballroom floor, seawater seeps through a crack. The band keeps playing, chandeliers sparkle, but below deck a rusted hull groans. That crack is every victim's voice. One after another, they widen the breach. Glitter above, doom below. Even late-night radio callers, once loyal to the beat, confess on air, I danced to his songs at my wedding. Now I feel like I invited a storm cloud to the reception. Static hums behind each call, like the storm is still on the line. Yet through the fury comes a spark of hope. Survivors form a chat group named Break the Party Line. They swap lawyers, share wellness tricks, push each other to stay loud. A pinned message reads, "We are louder together." That line spreads across TikTok, stitched over footage of NDAs ripped in half. Courthouse guards notice more people in the public seats each day. College girls with signs, retired dads with folded arms, music bloggers scribbling every quote. The hall smells of determination, stale coffee, ballpoint ink, and the adrenaline sweat of change. Diddy's team moves to seal new filings. The judge hesitates. Victims' letters flood her inbox. Each envelope whispers the same plea. Please don't lock us out again. Cameras catch her frown. Viewers hold breath. Because if those filings stay open, they might expose one untouchable name that still sits high on the streaming charts. And that, friends, is where the next domino waits, trembling on the edge of the table.
They won't even give me a permit for the parties, man. They don't want me to throw the parties no more. But we ain't gonna stop. We gonna keep on having fun, bringing people together from all walks of life. You gonna hear about my party. They're gonna be shutting them down. They're gonna probably be arresting me.
The boardroom smelled like burnt coffee and fear. Flat screens flashed red numbers, stock dips, ad pulls, angry hashtags ticking upward. A sweaty exec adjusted his designer tie and hissed, "How bad is bad?" The compliance officer answered with a single word, "Nuclear." Every swivel chair squeaked at once. The empire that bragged about unstoppable vibes now looked like a carnival after a power cut. Lights out, trash everywhere, clowns running for the exit. 3 blocks away, a wall of fans turned watchdogs packed the sidewalk in front of Bad Boy HQ. Cardboard signs slapped the winter wind. Freakoffs are not a vibe. Silence equals sidekick. Pay the survivors. A marching band kid pounded a snare drum in 4-count fury. The crack ricocheted between glass towers. Steam from sidewalk vents mixed with the scent of mustard and frustration. Police tape fluttered like cheap confetti, but nobody backed down. They wanted more than a heel-turn apology. They wanted heads to roll, bonus checks, tour dates, maybe even a few platinum plaques melted into scrap. Inside streaming land, the panic was polite but loud. Email chains ping-ponged. Should we pull his banner? Do we refund pre-orders? A senior curator whispered, "Our Legends playlist is a dumpster fire right now." Their solution? Shrink his profile picture, shuffle his tracks late at night, pretend the audience wouldn't see. Twitter saw. Twitter screamed. A college junior tweeted a screenshot, banner gone, stream still live, and added, "Nice try, Greetify." That post racked up 50,000 retweets before lunch, smelling like hot shame mixed with fresh sarcasm. Lawyers jumped next. Federal subpoenas landed on mahogany desks with a dull thud. A paralegal flipped pages. Wire fraud, tax tricks, witness tampering, maybe a Rico cherry on top. The paper felt rough, almost angry. In the hall, someone cursed under breath, went with, "Dang it," instead of the stronger word on the tip of the tongue. Even the copy machine sounded nervous, spitting summonses like it wanted no part of this mess. Victims' lawyers held their own presser on courthouse steps. Bulb flashes streaked the gray sky. You could almost taste the tungsten. One attorney raised a binder the size of a phone book, every settlement bought with hush cash, itemized. The crowd groaned like they'd swallowed ice water. They smelled rain coming and justice not far behind. A survivor in the front row squeezed a stress ball so hard the foam squeaked. She didn't flinch. That squeak spoke louder than any violin swell. Brands stampeded. A shoe company yanked an ad mid-broadcast. The screen went to black, then to a technical difficulties slide older than half the audience. A soda giant tweeted support for all who feel unheard. Commenters fired back. You sponsored 3 freak-off parties according to Exhibit 29. The soda giant's account went silent, carbonated bubbles fizzing out in shame. Musicians who once elbowed to cameo in Diddy videos released Notes app statements. The fonts looked sorry. The spacing looked rushed. One rapper typed, "I condemn abuse of any form," yet forgot to delete the metadata showing Diddy's studio location. Sarcastic fans circled it in red and posted, "That any seems selective, buddy." Betrayal never smelled so stale. Imagine a gilded mansion balanced on pickup stick stilts. Looks grand from the street. Step inside, termites party at the foundation. That's Diddy's legacy now. Reporters poke a single beam, and the whole porch groans. You can feel the tremor in your feet. Even late-night talk hosts, once thirsty for a cameo, cracked jokes that left the A-list studio audience wincing instead of laughing. The laugh track switched to coughs. No perfume can mask rot this strong. Meanwhile, momentum swelled like a bass drop. Petitions soared past 1 million signatures calling for label audits, NDA reforms, and charity payouts equal to every dime his catalog ever earned. A city councilwoman proposed its survivor tax on arenas that book artists with open abuse claims. Cable pundits snorted. Too radical. Viewers lit the switchboards, hissing, "Radical was letting this creep prosper." News studios filled with survivors. Camera lights baked 40 degrees hotter than comfort. Yet each guest sat tall. One man's suit jacket trembled right before he spoke. He took a breath you could hear through the boom mic, voice steady as frayed iron. "We want real penalties. Money, prison, lost airtime. Otherwise, the next predator's already rehearsing his acceptance speech." The host swallowed. You could smell her hairspray sizzling on the lamps. But the label's crisis team had one final trick. Rumor says they're prepping a sympathy doc, glossy and weepy, painting Diddy as a complicated soul. They're banking on tears to scrub the bloodstains. Will America buy that rewrite? The countdown to the premiere has started, and so has the boycott thread. Because if this glossy doc drops and still finds airtime, we're about to learn which networks stand for victims and which ones sell sparkle-washed lies for ratings. Buckle up. The channel you trust might be next on the hot seat.
Coming forward, he's upset that his kids and his family have to deal with this. He's upset, and he should be upset.
Will Mr. Carter say anything more specifically about Mr. Combs? He didn't really address him in his statement, but anything since outlets and internet speculation have tried to affiliate to them, he didn't really, in his statement, specifically say anything about any of the allegations.
I mean, Mr. Carter has nothing to do with Mr. Combs' case or Mr. Combs. They knew each other professionally for a number of years, just like in all professions. People know each other. At the music awards, they support each other. If you go to the NBA All-Star game, they support each other. That's just how professions work. There is no closer association between any of them. That's also a matter of fiction. That's all that there is. He doesn't know anything about the charges or allegations against him. He has nothing to do with that case. And there's nothing more to say.
Tonight we heard bruised voices, saw hush money ledgers, and smelled the rot behind the red carpet perfume. The files prove what whispers hinted for years. Parties dressed as paradise, rooms wired for harm, and a tight-lipped network paid to keep the music loud and the victims quiet. That stain is bigger than one superstar. Diddy is the flashing warning light on a machine that grinds talent and spits out silence. This story isn't gossip candy. It's a reckoning. When an industry shields power at any cost, every stream, every ticket, becomes a tiny yes to cruelty. We can't claim surprise anymore. The evidence sits in broad daylight, begging for action. So speak up below. Tell us what real justice should look like. Pass this video to one friend who still thinks chart success equals character. And stay with us by subscribing. The moment the next sealed door cracks, you'll want to be here when the light floods in. Because if money can muzzle truth, how loud will we shout to break the muzzle?